Well, hello again, everyone. This is Bob Mannery, and you're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, only on A2D Radio. Tom and Mike, these guys are fucking awesome. But their side piece, Greg, that guy is a goddamn problem.
Let's go, Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
A2DRadio.com. We're live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios. BMW of Atlantic City, off exit 17 of the Parkway. Find them online, BMW of AtlanticCity.com. Every Wednesday night, though, we're brought to you by our certified public accountant. Make them yours. Find them on the web, GibsonMayor.com. Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Rob Povo on the ones and twos. Greg Mockvick, still on Sunny Cali. Dan McGuckin, working some hard shifts.
Don't need them.
Not with us tonight.
Don't need them.
But it's us
Old
and
school.
you.
Again.
Us and the family. We got a lot to talk about tonight. At the end of the show, we'll talk about Carson Wentz and the Eagles being too cautious with Wentz. We'll dive into that, his return. When do we expect him to return? And you got Brandon Graham. We're a little banged up. Another list goes on of some guys banged up for the Philadelphia Eagles. And we'll play a little agree or disagree when it comes to the Phillies. We'll do a little Herrera, Nola, Franco, Neris, and we'll do a little Gold Glove later on in the show.
Probably have a couple of other things up the sleeve as well for the Phils.
And we will, and we'll continue. We'll have a lot to talk about Phils. They're playing good baseball right now. I know people are already chiming in. Andrew Kapler changed it also. We'll dive into that, but it's going to be Sixers, little Sixers draft talk, and we'll talk about Defensive Player of the Year finals were just announced. AD, Joel Embiid, Rudy Gobert. So we'll talk about who we think is going to win that. And it all ties into our poll question brought to you by Scanzano Sports. Find them on the web, scanzanosports.com. What will the Sixers do with the 10th pick in the 2018 NBA draft? Are they going to make the selection or trade the pick? Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. A2D Radio. A2D Radio is where you can find us. And we'll be answering all your questions, comments, concerns. We'll talk about the people who don't want LeBron James. We'll talk about Mike Missinelli earlier today talking about he would trade Ben Simmons for Kawhi Leonard, supposedly, how idiotic that is. So a lot to dive into tonight.
A whole lot to dive into.
And it goes right into our poll, like we talked about. So what are we going to do with the 10th pick?
I'm shipping it out. For me, it's gone. I'll be taking 10, 26, maybe one of the second rounders they have, maybe Markelle, Rocco. Put them all together, ship them out, bring me a superstar. And then go get me LeBron as a free agent on top of that. I'm getting greedy. I want them all.
Do you think we need to go that direction, though, with the picks? Like, I'm not saying Rocco and a pick and, bring somebody else in, right? Maybe, I don't know. But just bring somebody else. I keep cutting out. Does that make you cutting out?
Yeah, I was cutting out a little bit in one ear, but not both.
Yeah, it's all right.
But I can hear you.
I'm here. We're here.
I think we're here.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
Okay.
So here's the thing, though. I think if you're gonna pay guys first round money, they got to be top of the draft type of guys. And if you got first rounders at 10 and 26, why quote unquote waste that first round money when you can conceivably take those picks, package them, and get you something that you really want? Because you're not going to be able to pay all these young guys forever. I mean, that was always the one downside of quote unquote the process, is that you were going to get to a point where you had too many young guys that were going to all need to get paid at the same time. And to me, I mean, when I look at this draft, I don't think it's all that deep. I mean, just in terms of superstars, it may be 7 deep. And if you're drafting at 10, I mean, you get a nice player, but
yeah, it's not a deep draft. They talk about next year's draft's better, and that's why I'm fine with 10. Now, what do I do with it?
Well, let me ask you this though: could you take 10 and 26 and trade them for something that you think is going to be relatively high next year, knowing that next year's draft is deeper? Just kind of delay it for a year and see what happens.
I have no problem delaying it for a year. And I have no problem staying at 10 and doing something with the later picks. You know what I mean? Not that you're going to get anything back or anything like that, but just move them around for later picks, future considerations, whatever the hell it is.
I think they have 10, 26, and 3 second-rounders.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of picks.
And a lot of guys already on the roster, and they're not. There's no room for these picks to fill these spots for all of them. So to me, I just stay at 10. I draft the best player available at 10, if that's Bridges, whoever it may be, and I figure it out from there. I worry about getting rid of some of the later picks. Now, if somebody calls up and there's a deal that I can make, but like what you're saying, I'm not ready to deal Fultz. I'm ready to say status quo on that end. I'm ready to spend money free agent-wise.
And I got no issue with that at all. I'm not a Fultz hater. I'm not ready to give up on the kid. I get into a little debate last night on the book about the whole Tatum versus Fultz comparison, and I said, you can't make this comparison for 3 years. You have to now give at least, Markelle at least 2 years before you can start comparing him to Tatum or him to Lonzo, because these are guys that played a full year. Markelle played, 14 games? I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's not fair. It's not a fair comparison.
It's the same argument as people bitching and moaning at why didn't he play at all during the Celtics series? Because he played in the Miami series and he looked like a deer in the headlights. It's a kid who played 14 regular season games. He wasn't playoff ready. McConnell outplayed him. Simple as that. That's how it is.
Yeah, well,
it's not a shot at Fultz. It's just the way it played out.
No, and it would have been a little different if the guy, you're playing against wasn't drafted the pick after you, and that's what everybody's hanging their hat on. Is like, this guy looks like a star, and this, that, and a third. And listen, I don't dislike Jason Tatum, but I'm not like in love with the star potential. Like, I don't know if he has star potential. I think he has really good potential. I think he's going to be a really good NBA player. But I don't know if he has star potential.
Well, and it cracks me up because there's a lot of revisionist history out there. Everybody's saying that, the Celtics were going to take Tatum all along, and if the Sixers would have stayed at 3, they could have gotten Fultz. And that's just blatantly wrong. Because, number one, the Celtics wanted Josh Jackson. They were ready to draft Josh Jackson at number 1. Jackson wouldn't go work out for them because he didn't want to play there. So, right out of the gate, Tatum was not the Celtics guy. It was Josh Jackson. And had the Sixers, we'll say, let the Celtics draft Tatum at number 1, there's every possibility that the Lakers would have said, you know what, Lonzo? Thanks, but no thanks. We're taking Markelle. Which then would have left us with a choice between Lonzo Ball, Josh Jackson, when the guy that Brian Colangelo
wanted
was
Markelle Fultz. Yeah, and I'm not missing.
And like
Colangelo,
you said, he went and got the guy that he wanted. But because the kid was hurt all season and barely played, now all of a sudden it was a bad move. It's revisionist history. It's bullshit.
He's 19. I know Nicholas Thome said star potential is turned around way too much these days. But I don't think that's fair when you're talking about the number 1 overall pick of the draft. I mean, or shouldn't we be talking about his star potential? Shouldn't he have star potential? I mean, that's all I'm saying. I mean, when the guy drafted number 1, now does it always work out that way? Absolutely not. But
here's
he
the
should.
Thing. He wasn't a reach at 1. He was the consensus number 1 overall pick. Mm-hmm. He was not a reach. The kid was hurt the better part of his rookie year. So, yeah, you can still toss that term around, star potential. You can toss that around for 2 more years. Now, Sixers decide that they're not going to pick up his 4th-year option, then you may want to back off the whole star power thing a little bit. But until then, no, you keep right on that path.
Well, the funny thing, Jason Tatum isn't doing anything I didn't expect him to do. That's the situation. I mean, he came in the league, you knew he could score. Okay, and that's what he's doing.
He's a good player.
He's a good player. Now, all I'm saying is the flashes I seen of Fultz, I seen a guy who can be electric at times and in a small sample size. And what you saw at Washington State, you expected, or Washington, you expected a star. So, I mean, I'm not going to, it is revisionist history, and it's not fair. And you're right. You can't talk about it really deeply until about 3 years.
The only issue that I would have with the whole trading of the pick versus keeping it or whatever is that the name that I keep hearing over and over and over again is Mikal Bridges. And for me, that as much as I love Bridges and I love Villanova, to me, that is proximity bias. It's because Villanova's in the backyard, because they won the national champion. Well, Bridges has been on 2 national championship teams. I mean, the Sixers just grossly overpaid Rocco to be the player that they would want Bridges to be. You can't have both of them. So if you can somehow find a way to move Rocco, if somebody's willing to take him off your hands, yeah, by all means, then go out and get Mikal Bridges. But I don't think that I'm going out on a limb right now to say that they are very much the same type of player. Now, granted, Mikal Bridges a lot more polished on the offensive end, but in the NBA, he's going to be a 3-and-D guy.
Yeah, and that's fine. You're right, though. It is all about him playing, locally and the national championship, and people fall in love with him.
Yeah.
You've been hearing it all year. We want Bridges. We want Bridges at 10. We want Bridges at 10. We want Bridges at 10.
And I'll tell you this much. For as much as I love Villanova, if 10 rolls around and I have a choice between Michael Porter Jr. and Mikal Bridges, that's a no-brainer. I'm taking Porter all day.
Yeah. I'm thinking. Well, that's what Lenny Robinson chimed in and said he would do 26 and 10 and move up and try to get Porter if need be.
Oh, and I got no issue with that.
A guy
either.
who would have been the consensus 1 or 2 pick without the injury, easily. I mean, you can still make the case at 8-time. Aiton's the number 1 overall pick, and that's fine. But Porter probably would have been 2.
Yeah.
And he would have made this draft look a little stronger up front than it is right now. Because you're talking about a European kid who I've seen play a little bit, and man, I don't know if he has this quickness.
We're talking Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I don't know if he has the athleticism to be drafted 1 or 2 overall. That's the only thing. He can shoot the basketball. He looks to be able to do some things, but
he's smooth off the pick and roll.
No, he is, and that fits the game.
And
And he can flat out shoot it, and that fits it.
But I'll tell you what, though, you were talking about Ayton, though.
Yeah.
And how magical of a marriage is that now with him playing his college ball at Arizona and Phoenix has the number 1 overall pick? I mean, you're basically you're going to be moving halfway across the state, not halfway across the country.
And the guy's going to help change that franchise. They got Booker, and to add him really is going to help the Suns.
Yeah.
Booker don't play a lick a day, but at least they have somebody who will.
Well, between him, Booker, and Josh Jackson, they could start putting up 130 a night. Take it back to the old school Phoenix Suns.
Let's get to all the questions, right? Pop mine this up, fellas. What did I miss?
What's up, Pop?
We're just talking about who would you take at 10? Do you stay there? Or do you stay at 10? Do you trade the pick? Do you trade some other picks? What are you doing with 10? That's what we're talking about. We're going to talk about, obviously, some all-season plans for the Sixers. A little agree to disagree with the Phillies later on, and some Carson Wentz and Eagles at the end of the show. Nicholas Tomes jumped in late, didn't mean to throw shade. No, you didn't throw shade. No. But no, star power is thrown around way too often. Now, to me, I don't throw it around unless the guy's a top 3 fucking pick. You know what I mean? And you can throw around, he should have star power. Now, it doesn't mean it's always the way it goes. It's a reason it's a lottery and a draft because you're going to miss sometimes. Anthony Bennett, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The list goes on misses. Lenny Robinson, of course, Porter won't be there at 10. That's why you got to make a move up. Now, that's got it now. Here we are again.
Well, hold on.
Fam, here we are again with the injury.
I was going to say now.
Are we ready for this again?
Now, the reason that I think Porter will be there at 10 is because of the injury.
I don't think so because of how weak the draft is.
And that's fair. That's fair. I had no issue with that.
Any other draft, last year's draft, and he gets hurt, he's 10, right? Next year's draft, he's probably 10 if he gets hurt. Now.
But is last year's draft any sort of barometer for what we could expect this year and in future years when you had guys like De'Aaron Fox, who people thought was going to go as high as 4, who drops to 10, and guys like Lauri Markkanen, who were
yes.
like 16, 17, 18, moving up into the top 10 with the pre-draft workouts and stuff like that. Like, it is the NBA now turning into the NFL
Absolutely.
Where, there's not a combine, but there's pre-draft workouts and guys' stock just skyrockets
Absolutely.
in the workouts.
And you know what else is hurting, and not hurting, but you know what else is a part of it too, and you know this, is that guys are almost getting punished for staying a couple more years in school.
Yeah.
Guys are getting punished. Brunson, Brunson a sophomore or junior?
Well, Brunson is he's a redshirt junior, so he's
redshirt junior.
So he's graduated, but he still has a year of eligibility.
And what's his projection now? I mean,
he's like 18.
Okay, I mean,
18,
a guy like that, but I'm just making my point. All these guys who stay in school, they end up getting punished in some way in the draft. Yeah. Donovan Mitchell. I mean, the list goes on guys who drop. Now, Markin, I thought, was a good player right as a freshman away. I think where his spot was, if you redraft, he probably even goes higher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's the fun thing about it. I mean, you're at 10, and you're loaded right now. You understand we're loaded. This is the fun thing. I know Mike Parker said he had no idea what, or Deion was chiming in. And let me read off Deion's exact thing, but pretty much saying that he don't know what to do with the pick. But he said, "What's up, fellas? What up, Deion?" He said, "Poll question. I have no idea what to do with the pick unless that pick goes to the Spurs as part of a trade with them to acquire Leonard, among other assets. But I'll have to do my homework and find out the current prospects that will be at 10, and I'll give you a couple."
And I got no issue with that response either.
Leonard just scares me. Leonard's been scaring me away to more and more stuff that's been coming out. That's the only reason I'm sort of away from that, and I set my goal, and we'll get into all season on 2 other guys or just one.
Well, I'm looking for that one, but
but we'll get into that in a few minutes.
But I get on the tube. TTP Ballin says, "What up?" On the fix, I was laughed at for making the bold prediction Trae Young will be a star. Now, you all both may disagree, but can I get a valid reason why? I will give you a valid. I'm not going to laugh at you. He could be a star in the right system because for me, he's just a volume shooter. I mean, he is.
Who's this again? Sorry.
Trae Young, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
To me, Trae Young is your prototypical volume scorer. The more shots he puts up, the more scoring he does. Does the kid have amazing range? Yes, he does. Can he create his own shot? At the NBA level, I'm not convinced. Could he be a guy who comes off of the bench just firing and lights it up? Absolutely. There's no question about that. Mm-hmm. And if that makes him a star, that's fine. I have no issue with that at all. But I think he's a lot different player at the NBA level simply because you got other guys that you got to get involved. You're not going to be able to put up 35 shots a game to get your 25 to 30 points. Mm-hmm. It's just not going to happen.
Not on this team.
Definitely not on this team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against him if guys are off the board, right, Fab? I mean, if there's nobody on the board and he's the best player left and you're at 10, okay, you take him to take him. But I don't like the kid. I don't like guys who just have no conscience at all. That aren't assassins.
Oh, Pootie Tang chimes in and says, with Embiid finally having a healthy offseason to train his game and his body, I will predict he will finish no less than top 3 in MVP voting next season. I am totally on board with that. He also says Porter all day. We've already talked a little bit about Porter.
Yep, we're going to get more into it.
TTP says, I'm glad someone agrees with me on him. The boy was dropping 40 to 50 whenever he wanted in high school.
Who, Trae?
I think he was talking about Porter.
Porter, yeah.
And then he says, I'm sorry, if Trae falls to 10, it's a no-brainer for me. Pootie Tang says, yeah, TTP, Porter just has to get back to 100% as far as Trae. I probably wouldn't mind that. As long as he isn't the number 1 option on a team, he could be a beast.
Yeah, that's fine. But let me tell you something. Michael Porter goes 1 in this draft, even with DeAndre Ayton. I mean, he might still go 1 if he doesn't get hurt. I mean, that's how – I think I've been hearing about Michael Porter going 1 in this draft for about 2 years now. So, if you can get that guy, or like Lenny said, get up to maybe 7 and be able to steal him or whatever you got to do, then make the move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that's a guy you're targeting and through the workouts you realize he's healthy. But the back's concerning that, it's something that you can't just be like, oh, it's just the back. I mean.
Well, I think the one great thing about where they are, especially having that 26 backing them up, so to speak, is that they can sit there at 10. And if somebody starts dropping and gets to, 6, 7, 8,
yeah,
and that's the guy that they want, but they don't think he's going to make it to 10, you take those 2 picks and you move up and you go get them.
Yeah, you're the same thing with Lanny saying.
So,
we're right on there.
So, I mean,
I think we all agree.
Yeah, so you can move up, but if everybody that you're interested in suddenly is gone 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and your draft board just starts getting real thin, just get out of there.
Oh, I compare it to the Eagles drafting at 32. And the reason I say this, I mean, we're not obviously NBA champions.
Right.
But for us being a 50-plus win team and drafting at 10 is almost comparable to the Eagles drafting at 32 in a way where it's like the pick just doesn't – it's just extra.
Yeah.
It's just extra.
No,
it's just icing.
It's a great comparison because realistically, every team that's drafting ahead of the Sixers is only there because – let me back up a half a step.
We'll get to all the questions in a second. People are firing.
Every team that's drafting ahead of the Sixers that has a better record than them is only there because they've gotten the picks through trades.
Yep.
Same reason that the Sixers are at 10, obviously. But to your point, if you're drafting that high and you have that many wins already, you're drafting for depth and luxury, not for need.
That's what you're at right now. I mean, you're looking to spend money free agent-wise. You know, this is where we got to feel good about ourselves, fam, that we're talking about a draft that for finally in the first time in 4 fucking years, that means shit. I don't mean that like it means shit because you want to miss on the pick or nothing like that, but it really means shit to the growth of this organization and this team. The pieces are already here. This is a little side dish. That's all you're getting here. It's a side dish. Your stars are here. You know, you're Embiid, Ben, Dario, Markelle.
Dario, who's still the most underrated player in the NBA.
Easily. The best player that nobody talks about is Dario. Yeah. Easily. So there's 4 guys here, and you're talking about when we're going to get in all-season plans, the King, Paul George, and there's other names that are intriguing if you do miss out on the 2 big names.
Well, let's toss something out here real quick, though, because stay on that track. So you've got Joel, Ben, Dario, Markelle. Can you bring JJ back at a hometown discount? Because I'm convinced that they paid him $23 million in the first year because they told him come year 2, we're not going to be able to get anywhere near close to that. So let's say you're going to get $36 million out of us.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to get 23 in year 1, and you're going to get 13 in year 2.
Yeah, or maybe a 2-year deal that reaches about 25.
You know, we're going to expect you to want to come back and give us that hometown discount. Now, a couple of guys that we've been hearing a lot about may have to take on a significant role next year, and that's Furkan Korkmaz and Jonah Bolden.
Well, absolutely not, and I'll tell you why. Because to me, and I want to ask the people out there, and tell me if I'm wrong, I feel like we need 2 out of 3 back from Redick, Bellinelli, and Ersan. 2 out of 3. And to me, it doesn't necessarily matter what 2, but if I had my choice on something just happened to me. Yeah, I'm back.
There we go.
If I had my choice on the 2 out of 3, it would be Bellinelli and Redick.
Well, yeah.
So, you know, what 2 out of 3 would you want back?
The question becomes, of those 3, are which are you going to be able to afford and why? But I'm not saying that Bolden and Korkmaz have to be, Ilyasova and Bellinelli. What I'm expecting them to be, though, is Rashawn Holmes and TLC. They could be gone. Jared Bayless could be gone.
Oh, I expect them to be.
Rocco could be gone for all I care. Amir Johnson could be gone. I mean, these are all guys that realistically should not be on this team if you expect to take the next step.
Oh, absolutely. Let's get to we got tons of them.
Yeah, there's more over here, too. Go ahead.
Rob Brinkman, on the Fultz versus Tatum, Mike is correct. Got to wait 3 years. If you remember 1993, Rick Meyer outplayed Drew Bledsoe as a rookie. How'd that turn out?
True story.
And Jesse Nichols says Mitchell was there at 13 last year. He's right. Nicholas Tome says back injury is scary when we talk about Michael Porter. Lenny Robinson, boom, Tommy, he will get drafted on potential alone before 10, talking about Porter. Yep, agree, Len. And Nicholas Tome, does anybody really ever come back from a back injury the same athlete or not? It's a really good question. We can fucking ruin them. You know what I mean? That's the great thing about sitting on a couch is that we can be like, oh, well, you're the one who's got to sit in a room and get to know it. That's what I said about Fultz. Like, shit. Man, I watched highlights. I watched some Washington games late last year with some Fazuls on it, right? But I'm not the one-on-one with the guy in a closed meeting to get to know what's up here. That's on you, Daddy. That ain't on me.
But you could even take it one step beyond that, though. There was Washington, and then you saw him play in the Vegas Summer League before he twisted the ankle. He was sick. I mean, he was knocking down threes. He was getting in a hole at will. I mean, he was putting up 26, 28, 30 points in the Vegas Summer League.
He was playing well,
at will.
He was looking good.
At will. And I was so unbelievably excited about this kid. and training camp rolled around, and it's like he wasn't the same guy.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay.
I think he'll be okay.
And I think a King will help that, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No
And we're going to get into that in a minute. But let me get through them because there's tons. Wayne Blackniak, what up, Wayne? He goes, we have 5 picks that we were discussing. Yeah. Pop goes, keep the Nova connection. Take Bridges and Brunson at 26. Both guys bring outside shooting and toughness. He says, I don't see us keeping all of the bench guys. And I agree. That's what we were sort of getting into, Pop. We agree there's going to be some guys going. TLC definitely. Bayless definitely. And to me, I know people love Rashawn Holmes. He can go. You know what I mean? He can go somewhere.
How many minutes did Rashawn Holmes get in the playoffs? Exactly.
Yeah. Not an asset.
Yeah.
Jeff Neff. What up, Jeff? He goes, what's your thoughts on Knox from Kentucky at 10 if Porter and Bridges are gone?
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either.
It's
a good name.
I don't know that he'd be my first guy, but I wouldn't hate it one bit.
No, I could. It's just at this point at 10, you're playing with house money because your team's loaded.
But you know
you're
what?
Not the Dallas Mavericks at 5.
Here's what I would say about Knox at 10. It's safe. It's absolutely safe.
Yeah.
It's not a stretch. It's not. You're not blowing anybody out of the water with it, but it's not a stretch either.
I got to go watch some more on them, too, to really dive into them. Rob Brinkman says, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Steph Curry were all chosen outside the top 5. You can get a stud at 10. Just got to keep homework. Do the homework, which Clando kind of dropped the ball with Fultz. Trade. Sean Spielman, this draft class is like chow naked. It's a small class. This is the all season is to get superstars now while we have money and upside. Bron and George, Avery Bradley, year after, take anyone from Duke, Fab 4. I actually love the 3 names he tossed out. We're going to get into it in a few, Sean, but the Avery Bradley name's a great name, and we'll talk. We'll save that.
I'm an Avery Bradley guy.
Me too. Nicholas Thomas said Trae Young is simply a Lou Williams, just a scorer. That's okay, but now he's really got to develop his game to be a scorer like Lou Williams. Now, Lou won't play me or you on any defense, but he can score it.
But Lou could create his own shot if he had to, and I don't know that Trae Young is there.
And I feel like Lou always had that.
Yeah.
But maybe not. I mean, he was a baby when he came into the league, too. Rob Pove says Mikal Bridges.
I was just going to say, I got producer Rob with Mikal Bridges.
Brinkman says, what does everybody see in Porter that I don't? I don't get the hype. You know why, Rob? Because nobody saw him. That's the problem. We saw him in high school, and he was the king in the crown. He was Zion Williamson before Zion.
Right.
You know, I mean, not as electric, but he was a guy who was going number 1 in this draft. The injury. That's why he's an unknown, and that's why you'll know if he drops out the top 6 after the workouts and everything, he's still hurt. Something's still up there, and that's why I'd be concerned to trade him to 10, and I would do it because it's house money.
Right.
And hey, you're coming to an organization that red shirts guys every day. Welcome to the family, Michael. Love to have you. Sit down, take a year off, and we'll get you back. Michael Porter, there's nobody more fitting in this year's draft for the Philadelphia 76ers than a guy who would probably be hurt the whole year and come back the next and win a Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
At this point of this process, I don't give a fuck if I have 27 goddamn point guards, 27 threes, 27 big men. I'm taking the best player and the most talented guy on the board.
Hold on. The best injured, most talented guy on the board. So I can put him on IR for a year.
And I like Bridges, but Bridges to me is a fill of the need pick than it is maybe the best player available. You understand? Like, with all due respect to Mikal Bridges, and I like the kid a lot, Michael Porter healthy, Mikal Bridges can't hold his jock strap. That's just being fair. The fact that we're talking both of them at 10 is really a little bit crazy because Porter's not a 10 guy.
Right.
So, I mean, that we'll get into it more. Jack Mahadi, Bridges, he can fill Covington's role and actually make layups. And we agree there. But is now Rocco getting dealt? Because I'm okay with that. I'll drive him.
And that's fine. And what I would say is if they hadn't just paid Rocco out the nose, and when in fact they overpaid for him, let's just call it what it is.
They could try to sell us that they got a hometown discount on what?
Yeah. Had they not paid Rocco out the nose, I'd be all in on Mikal Bridges. It's not even a question. Problem is, you've just allotted all this money to Rocco. If you can't deal him, you don't have that kind of money riding your bench. You just don't. Not in today's NBA.
No, not when you're about to go out and
you want to have him be your 6th man. That's fine. But you can't have this guy buried at the end of your bench for $16 million.
No, and that's going to depend on who you bring back. And it's so much. This is why this draft is interesting in a way.
Yeah.
And this all-season is the most interesting all-season we've had in the city of Philadelphia, talking about the Philadelphia 76ers. And I got to go back to, 2000. You understand? I got to go back to, 2000, 01, 02, 03-ish that really feel good going into all-season and excitement. It's been that long.
Yeah. TTP Ballin says, I think with experience in grooming under an NBA system, Trey can develop into a Damian Lillard type of player. I agree that he was a volume shooter in college, but Oklahoma, in a way, encouraged that by pretty much letting him do whatever he wanted. And as usual, you're spot on there. Pootie Tang says, I hear people saying we should take DiVincenzo at 26. Not too sure about that, though. To me, DiVincenzo's got to go back to school. At least one more year. I think.
Why do you have guys come out that are projected second-round guys? I don't understand who's talking to these fucking kids and giving them this direction.
Well, you know what it is they can go to the pre-draft workout, and as long as they don't hire an agent, they can back out. So now all these guys are getting this, these thoughts of grandeur in their head, and they're saying, well, as long as I don't hire an agent, I can back out. All it takes is for one agent to start floating some dollars in front of these kids.
Or say, hey.
And they're going to sign, and then they're screwed.
Hey, Dante, you might be a top 20 guy. That tricep felt good, by the way.
Thanks,
but
man.
Dante, you might
Dante,
you might be a top 20 guy, right? So now he thinks I'm a top 20 guy. Why am I going to go back to school? Because now I'm getting top 20 money. Why am I going to go back to school? I'm getting guaranteed money and big time guaranteed money. Because the NBA is not chump change when you get drafted in the top 20. You're still getting paid a good amount of money.
Yeah,
so why stay?
And here's the thing with that program. If Brunson and Bridges are gone,
he becomes a guy almost.
That program basically flips to DiVincenzo and Spellman.
Which I think is what's going to happen. I think the Knicks are going to take him at 9. I think they're interested in Bridges.
Yeah.
That's what I hear at least a little bit. But if they fuck up, then that'll be the Sixers' game.
Yeah, and Brunson is going to go in the first round. It's just a matter of where.
There's a kid from West Virginia that I would really like in the second round, a guard, Javon. My God, what's his last name? He's a second-round guy, but to this point, because Ricard, I hope I got your name right, brother. He goes, with Kyrie and Rozier and other fast, quick point guards to have to deal with next year, the Sixers are still weak in that area to go along with no depth at small forward and backup center that we were just talking about. He goes, the draft pick Colangelo used last year to move up to 26 for a project pick, Pasechniks? Could have been used this year. Pashniks.
Yeah.
Oh, and then it's Javon Carter, Rob Brinkman. And he's a second-round guy, but, dude, he's a D guy. He's a D guy, and West Virginia guys, they're going to play D. I really would like him in the second round. Now, I'm not – you know how I feel about second-rounders. A couple more. Jesse Nichols, Rocco, he made $16 million this year. After this, it's around $12 million per year. Now, that's not too bad coming off the bench. He got a lot of money this year, but it's not – In this league, it's not. I hate the guy, but in this league, that's not a lot of money.
Right, but if you're getting more than $10 million, you need to be in the top 8 of the rotation.
Brother, you just got to make a layup. I'll go down to the fucking park right now. You can bump me, and I'm going to finish. And I got a vertical that's about this.
You can slide a dictionary under there.
You can do the index card that the NFL referee uses to measure the fucking first down or not. You can use card under my vertical, and I'm still going to make layups because I'm going to be physical.
Hold on.
Lenny says floor general. Who's he talking about? Oh, Carter, yeah. And he goes, he looks 45. He does. He looks like he's been in West Virginia for 22 years.
Well, he probably has. Hollyway 15. What is this? Is this a radio show? Yes, Holly, it is. Welcome to Tom and Mike, AM and PM on A2D Radio.
Yep.
We do this every Wednesday. Hop aboard.
We got shows all week.
Imagine.
Shows all week.
We're here all week.
What's the name again?
Hollyway.
Hollyway. We got shows all week. It's the best in the fucking business. Welcome.
Did you get that kid's name? Did somebody chime in with it?
Oh, yeah, Javon Carter.
Oh, Javon Carter. Okay.
Yeah.
TTP Ballin says Porter plays so much like KD, it's scary. He could very well end up the Kyrie of this draft. Injured, played a little college ball, turns into a superstar.
It's so funny you say that because I'm guilty of the same thing I bet a bunch of people are, is I almost forget his game a little bit. And, I hate this. I'm honest. It's real talk. I haven't seen the guy play in a minute. I got to go back and watch him later tonight to sort of dive back into him because let me be honest with the people. I've been so into the season.
Yeah, into the Sixers.
Into the season.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we weren't into the seasons for the last 4. Last 4, we would get into groups and we get on pages, and what would we be talking about? In fucking October, babe. We were talking about the draft. I was so thankful that I didn't have to do that until right now, and it feels good. So whoever we take at 10's a win.
Feels so
It's
good.
a win if Colangelo does his homework and takes the best player available. It should be a win that you add in to the pieces we had, and it's going to tie into our all-season conversation that we're going to get into in a minute here. But that's what it's about.
Well, think about this for a minute, though. Just kind of what you're talking about.
And we're
is-
greedy. We want more. I get it. We want more.
Absolutely. But how many years did we go where come early April, the Phillies were the only game in town? This year it took until, May 9th?
For like the Flyers were in for a minute.
Flyers were in it. Sixers were in it.
Yep.
Phillies started early.
Started
a
hot.
little earlier than usual and were hot and have
Still
stayed pretty hot.
Yep.
But, I mean, we went into May still having NBA basketball at the forefront of our fandom. I mean, that is big.
Mike, we've been doing shows for 3 years, me and you.
Yes, we have.
Okay, and for all 3 years, we have, at this point of the year where we used to call it the dog days already of summer because it shouldn't be dog days yet.
And we're
But it was.
buried in Phillies talk.
But the problem was 3 years ago, we couldn't be buried in Phillies because they stunk too.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, what were we talking about? You know what I mean? Now, you make it easy, and the family makes it easy chiming in. Pop says, signing George and traded for Leonard, and that's what he does. I'm in a different route than that, Pop, but we'll talk about it in a second. Dion says, he also said what he was drinking, and I fucking miss it, Dion, because there's tons of people chiming in. I love it. I love the family. Wayne Blackniak, you really think we're going to have a shot at getting the king? Absolutely, Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about it. I keep saying it. And Jesse Nichols, I'd rather have Avery Bradley than bring JJ back. I'm not against that, Jesse, but then I would need Bellinelli back because I need somebody who can flat out shoot it. Where did Dion say what he was drinking? I don't know where he said he was drinking. Dion, tell me what you were
Dion,
drinking.
post it again. 'Cause you know I ask the question every week.
Yeah, we always want to know what you're drinking. But Dion says, Sixers need a Peyton Manning-type basketball player on the court, just like Lenny said, a floor general. We haven't had that since Cheeks and maybe Iverson. Let's hope that Ben can turn into that.
Pootie Tank says, at least Colangelo didn't pull a Washington Wizards and give Rocco $100 million like they did with Otto Porter. I liked Otto Porter. I was an Otto Porter guy. Not $100 million worth, but I liked Otto Porter.
I like Otto Porter, but I don't overly love him. But he's better than Rocco. But $100 million,
not so much.
Not so much. Or $40 million better, absolutely not. Neither one are that kind of guy to me that's worth that money. So let's get into a little of the offseason because Lenny's chiming in and he goes, I got no problem signing George, but I feel like he's LA bound, and I agree with him a little bit. But the direction I go is really easy because I think it's a match made in heaven. We talked about it, me and you, when Lazy Bookman was on that one night, when I got a certain call from an AD saying that the King and the fam are going to come look at some schools in Jersey. So, we knew this was in the works for a little bit. And I've always said I don't care if they lose in the Eastern Conference Finals or if they lose in the NBA Final. It doesn't matter. I still believe he was coming here. That's the direction I go. Now, if I can go King and George, so be it. I just steer away from Kawhi Leonard, guys. That's the only thing. Not because of talent, because now there's reports coming out that this could be, more of like a disease in his muscles and stuff like that. Whoa, baby. You ain't getting no 19-year-old kid from me, and I don't give a fuck if he couldn't shoot all goddamn year. You understand that? Like, I'll take my chances. You know what I mean? Over a degenerate, disease, you know what I mean? Or
so
whatever the hell it is.
You're keeping a 19-year-old that can't shoot over anybody that's got a degenerative muscle disease.
Yes,
shot. I'm on board with that.
No shot. And a guy that can't like anybody that's got their own doctor and they go outside the team, I find that flakish. This is some of the moves that he made. I'm not going to trade anybody for him. I love Dario, and I don't know Markelle yet. So I'm not willing to trade Dario for him, a guy that's going to play 82. A guy who's tough as nails. I'm not going to trade that for a guy that couldn't get on the court this year. Why would I do that?
Let me ask you a question real quick. Just in terms of the guys on the current roster, who's untouchable right now?
On our roster?
Mm-hmm.
For me?
Yeah, who's untouchable?
Well, Ben, Joe, and we're going to rip Missinelli in a minute. Ben, Joe, Dario, and Markelle. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Everybody else that's untouchable to me right this second. That can change in a year. Not Ben and Joe. Okay? Not Ben and Joe. But the other two could, Dario, I don't think so either. Them three won't change for me. Markelle could, because if he's not good enough, he's not good enough. You know what I mean? But from what we talk about in the summer league and the glimpses, we think he's going to be something.
All
good.
right, so I'm going to throw a hypothetical at you here.
I keep 4.
Phoenix offers you number 1 overall for Ben. Do you do it?
Mm-mm.
They offer you number 1 overall for Joel. Do you do it?
Absolutely not.
Okay, fair enough.
You even had me like think for Ben for a sec. Not even for a sec, but but Joe's like an absolute fucking.
See,
nut.
now I'm the other way. I don't do it for Ben, but I would think for a second on Joe.
For Aiden?
Joe, well, for the number 1 overall, and the only reason I even
In this draft?
hold on, relax.
I'm across the fucking table. Oh, I'm about to take Joe. He'll eat DeAndre Ayton's lunch. I can't wait for that matchup.
Well, yeah,
by the way.
Yeah, it's going to happen this year, but just the only reason I even think about it for a second, and I didn't say my answer was yes, but I do think about it for a second, is just Joel's injury history.
Yeah, but what I saw this year is a guy that's over with.
Yeah.
That's in the past.
The phantom of the process.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So he's just so dominant, I could never do it. Like, to me, there's just nothing that's going to get them 4 guys away from me right now. Not Kawhi,
yeah,
nothing.
Joel didn't even play well in the Boston series and averaged almost 30 points.
And that's just not just these kids having, they've never played this many games, them two. So, I mean, that's good for the body to now play this many games because they're going to be prepared for it next year. This is all learning. This is all learning for our little puppies.
Here's a good question for you. Actually, TTP Ballin says, damn, I never heard that about Kawhi. And then Pootie Tang, and I think this is directed to you, do you think we can get Paul George without offering him the max?
If we get LeBron, yes.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Like, I'm telling you, it's going to work. LeBron James is coming to Philadelphia. It's a done deal. It's done, because there ain't a fucking shot in hell he goes to the finals. If they do, goes to the finals and beats the Warriors. There's 0 shot. The only chance he wasn't coming here is if we beat them. You understand? If we beat them. We didn't beat them.
Because then he would want to come back and beat us.
Because then it looks like, oh, well.
And then it's also a KD if you can't beat him,
join him. He's coming here, baby. So that's and I look at my all season around that. So I'm getting LeBron in house.
Okay, so with that thought in mind, how much does it screw you up, if at all, that the draft actually happens before the free agency period? I mean, are you doing a little quote-unquote legal tampering and talking to LeBron's people before the draft?
Yes. You have to know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is you do. You have to know what you are and are not going to be able to get in free agency and trades before you draft.
Listen, I signed a guy who he's fucking 37 years old. I don't care. You know the reason? Because this is why I got to just shut the people up for a minute. And we did a video on it earlier. Listen, we're diehard Sixers fans, and a lot of us are 4-for-4 guys, okay? You can never root for your fucking rival. You understand me, people? What are we becoming? We're allowing hate? We're allowing a hate of a player? The hate of LeBron James? Now turn us into rooting for a team that just knocked us the fuck out. Are we okay? What happened here?
Don't throw the headset.
What happened here? This isn't who we are. This isn't what kind of fan base we are. I said in the video earlier, it's like in a Super Bowl matchup, rooting for the fucking Cowboys because you don't like Tom Brady. Are we okay, Eagles fans? You understand? Stop it.
I would not watch the Super Bowl before I'd root for the Cowboys.
Yes, exactly. I wouldn't be around, okay? But that's the thing, guys.
I'll be going to the back room at West Coast Video before I watch the Super Bowl.
Can we stop?
Hey.
Can we stop hating greatness? Is he better than Michael Jordan to me? No, okay? No, but that doesn't change that he's great. Like I said it the other day, my opinion of this man changed when he went back to Cleveland, okay? My opinion of this man changed when he never gets in trouble, okay? My opinion of this man when you're the most polarizing figure in the NBA and there's never even been a little bit a conspiracy of anything with you means you're a really good man, okay? Mm-hmm. These jabrones that bring hate into it, I ain't going to use what they really are doing, okay? But you guys are fucking idiots. Really. The bronzexual. Like, I'm not a bronzexual because I'm a realist. Like, the guy's the best player in the game. So now I'm a bronzexual because the guy's the best player in the game. Because we can't have an opinion about greatness. Stop hating greatness when it's in front of your eyes, when it's alive. Because then it goes away like Jordan did. We all hated him. And you can act like you didn't, but in the moment, we hated Michael Jordan. We hated the greatness until it was over. And when it was done, if you weren't a Bulls fan, then you gravitated towards the greatness. Mm-hmm. Don't make the same mistake. Here's what I'm trying to say, people. If we're playing him, of course you want to take his ass out and hate him. But at this point,
I got a couple.
It's just
I got 3 questions for you, real quick. What are the 2 most unselfish things you can do on a basketball court?
Be a team first guy.
Statistically. The 2 most unselfish things you can do on a basketball court.
Oh, to me, assist, obviously, and rebounding.
Okay.
Because rebounding to me it's unselfish. It's a guy who's
So right. So it's assists and rebounds. Correct. Question 2.
Mm-hmm.
Has LeBron ever been in the running for Defensive Player of the Year?
somehow he has, right?
He's been a finalist 4 times.
4, yeah, I didn't know how many times.
Okay.
How many times has he won it?
I believe once.
He gets penalized for being LeBron James.
Right. Okay, number 3. What are the 3 statistics that make up a triple-double?
Well, it could be a couple.
But
The
traditionally.
normal. Okay, rebounds, assists, points. Yeah.
Rebounds, assists, points. Was the answer to question number 1 rebounds and assists? I think it was. So the guy is basically like a walking triple-double. 2 of the 3 statistics involved in a triple-double are complete team player, unselfish statistics. Oh, and the guy actually goes out and plays defense. Yet somehow he's a selfish player and we don't want him on this team.
What?
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
You don't think he's gonna? You don't think you want Markelle Fultz to get better, right? You guys want Markelle Fultz to get better? How about this? When you bring this man in, where does the media go? And I'll wait. You think the media's going to Joe and Ben and Markelle and Dario? Are you guys crazy? It's going to LeBron James. He takes all the pressure that these kids have away from them. How good do they play with the pressure, right? Now take it all away. Take all the pressure away. Take Markelle's pressure away. Take all of it away and put it on one man who can handle it, who's proven this year with nothing that he can handle the pressure. Bring a guy in who never gets in trouble. Bring a guy in who's a leader. Bring a guy in who's a worker, okay? Because that's going to translate to a locker room.
Who's a good guy in the community.
Like, it's all the things that you want in a basketball player and a man. And, like, if I had a kid right now, I would want him to want to be LeBron James. And if you have a kid and you don't want him to be, who would you want him to be? Or Carson Wentz. You understand where I'm going with this? Good men. It's good man. Okay? Take the hate away from a guy, because I'm not a bronsexual and I hate the guy. I understand Mike Parker said, the flopping got old. I get that. They all freaking flop, dude. They all flop. It's LeBron, though, so every flop is going to be times a million.
But here's the thing. When you're 6'8" and built like a brick wall, you have to flop or you're never, ever going to draw those calls. People look at him and they think he's not taking a charge. That's a flop. Well,
in slow motion, everything's a flop.
He's taking a charge. He's just embellishing it, because if he doesn't, he's never going to get the calls.
Jack Mahady, I hope I got it right, Jack. He goes, Joel flops, Harden flops. It's part of the game.
Yeah.
And that's what we're saying. Like, listen, you don't have to like him. I'm not forcing anybody to do anything. I'm just telling you, don't say you don't want him in Philly. Like Doug Zeke earlier. Like, I'll expose people. Like, I'll stop rooting. You stop rooting?
Stop it. You will not. That's
That's crazy. Rob Taramini, another jabron. I get 100 tags a day. And there's never a basketball argument. You understand? Like, there's never a basketball debate. And I'm not even debating Jordan because Jordan's better. So I'm just saying that he's great right now. And then you want to give me Durant. Okay. At moments, Kevin Durant might be the best player in the NBA. Okay?
I mean, LeBron's 1 and Durant's 1A. There's no argument there.
Yeah.
It
So
is what it is.
Okay, go ahead.
Pootie Tank says, would you package 10-26 Fultz and Rocco if the Suns were willing to give us Booker?
No.
Yes and yes for me.
No.
For me.
Who was it again? What was it again?
10-26 Fultz and Rocco.
Absolutely not.
I would do it.
I just think he's a crumb.
And that's fine.
It's just me.
We can agree to disagree on that.
It's me. I know. It's just me. Devin Booker has all the signs of a crumb to me. And I don't know why. The guys who overscore, they concern me. They just concern me. On a bad team, you understand? I don't know. It's just worrisome. I'm not saying I wouldn't do the deal. But I'm just saying I got to wait on Fultz. I think Fultz can be that good. I really do. And I know the unknown would make you want to trade him. But then, again, we could be doing hindsight 2020 3 years from now.
I'd take a guy who could drop 40 in a heartbeat as my third option every night.
Yeah, he's not like the face guy for me. He's got a weird looking face.
I don't like your face.
Yeah, so it just like turns me off. And then like he drops 80 in a loss, and it's like, what? Like how much of a crumb are you? If you drop 78 points or whatever the fuck it was, and your team loses, like you're a problem. You're a problem. Like I don't ever want you around.
Well, wait a minute. The game that Kobe had 81, did they win?
I don't know. They might have lost too. But at that point in Kobe's career, he was a crumb too. He was a jacker. It was Jack. So whatever. Jesse Meza, I hope I got it right, Jesse. He said Fultz is good. He goes, let the Sixers grow.
And I'm fine with
he
that.
said, never trade our future. Now, a great bit we talked about, and Jesse was right there. Ben and Joe are never tradable to me. Mike Missinelli talking about trading Ben Simmons for Kawhi Leonard earlier is just ridiculous, and it should never, ever be talked about. You know, you're talking about trading a 20-year-old kid who, when Joe was out, he looked like a killer. Not a killer points-wise, maybe, but a killer all around.
I mean, does anybody just stop and take a deep breath and say, you know what?
Stop and take a deep breath.
When this kid develops a jump shot, he's going to be the best player in the NBA.
Yep.
And it's not even going to be close.
When LeBron says it like numerous times, the young prince, like he's the next guy. Yeah, like, remember when LeBron came in? The jumper was better than this. But it wasn't good. The man really developed himself into being able to jumper. I always thought LeBron was too top heavy at times, which makes his jumper a little too tight.
Right.
But that's part of putting $1.5 million in your body a year, babe. You know what I mean? You're gonna have a little growth, and it'll be a little strong up top.
Look, we posted a video yesterday. LeBron was at the Boston Garden, TD Garden, whatever the hell that place is called.
9.5 hours.
9.5 hours before tip-off, working on his game.
Now, did he lose? Yeah. But
still. They lost, and he puts up 42, 12, and 10. I mean, people want to talk about Brian Colangelo getting fleeced by Danny Ainge in a trade. Take a look at the Cavaliers and look at that Kyrie trade and tell me that Danny Ainge didn't do it to the Cavaliers even worse. Look, Danny Ainge, for, love him or hate him, and most people in Philadelphia hate him. Guy's a goddamn good general manager.
Nobody on that. Nobody from that trade's there.
Huh.
Nobody from the Kyrie trade's still there, but the pick.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they flipped everybody to the Lakers.
Yeah. Crowder went to the Lakers. Isaiah went to the Lakers.
Right. They wound up getting Larry Nance Jr. and
Clarkson.
And what are these guys doing?
Nothing. They struggle. Rodney Hood's struggling. Some guys you thought. Now, I know everybody says, like, I think somebody asked in the chat earlier, what do we got to do to keep up with the Celtics? And to me, that's just LeBron. I think he just puts you over the top with them. Because Kyrie's a crumb to me. He just is. Like, I don't like Kyrie Irving as much as other people do. Gordon, I love. But Kyrie, like, people, like, I don't know if it's going to be better with Kyrie than it is with Rozier. How can you say that right now? I mean, Rozier playing out of his mind. I can't say that.
I was actually just going to say that I actually think the fact that they're missing Kyrie and Hayward has been out pretty much all season, at this point in the season, it's actually making them a better team because they share the basketball a lot more. Yep. They have different guys involved. They have
Kyrie's a selfish guy.
Yeah, they have four. They have 4 or 5 guys in double figures every night now. Now, sure, you're relying on guys like Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Rozier,
See
Tatum.
That name you just said? Marcus Smart. The guy's not going to be there next year, most likely. They don't have the money to bring him back, and that's going to be a big loss that nobody talks about because of the toughness. That's all. And I don't know if Marcus Morris his contract might be up there too. I don't know. Right. But if talk about 2 guys they could be losing.
Well, Pootie Tang just chimed in and said, no more trades with Boston, man. And you know what, Pootie? If you don't want to trade with them because of Danny Ainge, I'm fine with that. But I got into this discussion last night online where people ripping me because I approved of the Sixers trading within the division because they traded with the Celtics. It's not Major League Baseball. It's not the NFL. Teams in the NBA trade within the division all the time. Why? Because you don't get into the playoffs just for winning the division. If you finish top 8 in the conference, you get into the playoffs. You don't have to win your goddamn division. And you only play teams in your division 4 times a year.
Yeah.
So, teams in the NBA trade within the division all the time. If the right players, the right salary, and the right draft pick works, make the trade. It's not Major League Baseball where you're going to have a guy come back and face you 18 or 19 times over the course of a season.
Now, am I okay with just staying away from Danny Ainge for a minute?
Sure.
Yeah,
of course. Fuck that guy.
We'll stay away from him. But, yeah, to your point, listen, dude, we can talk about in 3 years, Mike, that this trade he made, and I hate fucking Colangelo, but the trade he made could end up being – we could look back and be like, man, remember when we were talking about how better Tatum was? And now look at it. It could easily be that, guys. There's a reason Fultz was a consensus 1.
And this
Talk
is,
to me when this season starts, and if he can't shoot and shit.
And let's just be clear about something real quick. At no point is this discussion about Tatum. Tatum's a damn good player, and I don't think we're taking that away from him at all. It's just that all these people just keep saying, well, he's so much better than Fultz, and he was the right pick for the Sixers, and he's this and he's that and whatever. And you just can't make that comparison. Even if Fultz would have played the entire year this year, you can't make that comparison after 1 year.
No, to me, this is who Jason Tatum is, though. Like, I don't see huge growth after this. You get where I'm going with it? Like, I just think this is who he is. I don't think there's, like, a ton of growth after this.
No, and I would agree with that.
Greg says, missed a few minutes, was walking through the hotel lobby, and Tom started screaming, LOL, had to turn off for a few minutes. Oh, grow up. You knew what you're in for. Mike Parker says, some of it's funny, but it's unrelated to basketball. I don't know what he – because my son's names are Jordan and Carson.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Love Carson. Love Jordan, too.
Pooty says, I don't mind in-division trades. It's Danny Crumbface Ainge. Okay. And I'm fine with that. I'll stay away from Danny Ainge.
Oh, and Jesse Nichols says Porter is a better prospect than Doncic.
I don't know. I mean, people were talking Luka Doncic could go as high as like 2-3. Potential? Sure. Better prospect right now? I don't know. It's tough.
It's hard. It's hard.
The injury just screws everything up.
It kills it.
Yeah.
It's almost the Embiid factor, but Embiid was like when the flashes, like with all due respect to Michael Porter, like his flashes were never Joel Embiid's flashes, where you're like, oh my God, this is like a once-in-a-generational big man. It's a once-in-a-10, 12-year big man.
And that's the difference, is it's a big man.
Yeah.
When you see a big man with Joel's skill set, it is a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Now, Aiden doesn't have that.
No, he doesn't, but he could. He could develop it.
Yeah.
But again, you have a big man like Joel with that kind of skill set versus, Michael Porter's skill set. And Porter's a special player, but there's 5 guys in the NBA that are already him. There was nobody in the NBA that was Joel.
No. Mike Parker says, the hate you get from Robin and the other guys hating you on you for liking LeBron. And the funny thing is, like, I don't, like, overly like LeBron. I want him to be a Sixer.
It's funny because
I just want him to be a Sixer. When the Sixers conversation started happening more and more, I got more tuned into LeBron. But it's not a Bron sexual. It's like, oh my God, we got a chance for the best player in the world to make us better, to get us better than Boston. I'm all in.
See, I wasn't a LeBron fan. I wasn't a hater.
Yeah, I'm right with you.
I wasn't a fan. But when he went back to Cleveland,
that was it.
A lot of respect and
the 3-1. The 3-1.
Yeah, right. And it was
the block.
Not only was it a lot of respect, but it was also a lot more, paying a much closer attention to the situation. It's like, okay, if this guy's going back to Cleveland, there's something special going on there, and I'm going to really pay attention
I
to
like
that.
the unfinished business. I like going back and making up for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And coming back from a 3-1 deficit and getting in their championship that was expected from
Right.
it. You know what I mean? And do I blame the decision? Do I think it was handled wrong back in the day? Yeah, sure, we can say that. Yeah. We can go do all that. I think he's learned from that one. Yeah. And we'll see how this all plays out. What do you got?
I was going to say, I think we gotta get ready to jump over to the tube. So
we're gonna head over to YouTube and to the site in a few minutes here, actually a minute or two. So bring all your comments, questions, concerns over there.
Pootie Tang just said Phoenix hired Luka's EuroLeague coach, so I think they're really ready to draft him number 1. Interesting.
Him and Booker
could work.
Guard play.
Yeah,
it's not bad. I mean, you're gonna score.
Him and Booker with Josh Jackson in the front court.
Yeah. Maybe
wouldn't hate it.
Like, Ayton to me is just an athlete. He can do a lot of things okay. Yeah, he's just a freak athlete. Yeah. But he's good. He's good. TJ Simon said that's the idiots saying they don't want Harper on the Phillies. As soon as he hits a 460-foot bomb, they will love him. TJ, that's 100% on.
Spot on.
The second LeBron hammered down on somebody in the first week of the season, people are going to be on their knees.
Or when the Sixers start 18-2 in their first 20.
Yeah, that too. Jack Mahady says LeBron's mentorship of Ben would be unbelievable to his growth as a player and a leader. Didn't we just talk about this?
We were talking about with Markel, but yeah, Ben too.
All of them. The pressure goes away from all of them because LeBron takes it all. And the leadership he can teach them. The winning. It just all helps us. So listen, we're going to continue our Sixers talk over on the YouTube side of things.
Some Phils.
over to the site, some Phils and some Eagles. So a lot more to talk about on Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
I'd like to thank our Wednesday night sponsor for sponsoring this first segment for us, Gibson Mayer LLC, our certified public accountant.
Make 'em yours.
Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. Like we said, we love all the comments, concerns,
Keep it coming.
questions. Jump over to YouTube, head over to the site, whatever spot you want to be. You know where it is. HUD Radio is where you can find us, fam. Love it. We'll continue the conversation, and we'll see you on the other side. Late.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Tom Arnone, Big Mikey Smalls, Tom, Mike, AM, in the PM, only on A2DRadio.com.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
You're listening to the worldwide leader of Real Talk, A2DRadio.com.
Tom Arnone, Big Mikey Smalls, Tom, Mike, AM, in the PM, only on A2DRadio.com.
Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, is brought to you by Gibson Mayer, LLC, Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Mike from Tom and Mike AM in the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer, LLC, certified public accountants. 215-369-3300 or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's www.gibsonmayer.com.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Tom Arnone, Big Mikey Smalls, Tom, Mike, AM, in the PM, only on A2DRadio.com. 17 hours later, Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
A2DRadio.com. We are live from the BMW of Atlantic City studios, BMW of Atlantic City, off X17 at Parkway. Find them online, BMWofAtlanticCity.com.
Sorry to the fam. We had a little meeting,
Talking.
meeting during the break.
We were chatting. Every Wednesday night, though, we're brought to our certified public accountant. Make them yours. Gibson Mayer LLC. Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. Tom Renone, Michael Mataraki, Rob Pove on the ones and twos. Fam, we started to show off heavy Sixers. We went an hour straight talking Sixers, and our poll question was, what would the Sixers do with the 10th pick in the 2018 NBA draft? Make the selection, trade the pick. And you can still let us know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You know where to find us. We're going to then, we didn't really get into Sixers-Celtics review so much. We just talked a lot of draft. We talked about things we need to do off-season wise.
We talked a lot of Celtics though, so I'm good with that.
We over the last couple shows, we got our Celtics in. We're gonna then jump into a little Phils, and I love this part. It's a little agree or disagree, and we got some names for the family, and you're gonna answer it and let us know. Do you agree or disagree with some of the statements about these players?
Robbie, you want in on this?
Yeah, he's a minute behind us.
Sorry, brother.
He's a minute behind us.
He's
a minute behind us.
I was going to say, do you want in on this?
If I turn my mic on, I could.
And now he's in.
Yeah, I don't.
Look, I don't.
I'm trying to go above and beyond. I'm making sure the YouTube sound still sounded sweet and perfect.
Brother.
It's greatly appreciated, but
I said he's delayed because you asked him a question. You had the other headsets in. I said, he'll get it in a minute.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
It's baseball. It's in your wheelhouse.
Yes.
So, this is fun. And do you want to start? I got two of my kids up here at the front. But we'll start with the best.
Well, how do you want to do this? Do you want to be the MC or do you want to answer? Because I'll ask the questions.
I'll answer.
If you want to answer.
I'll answer then. Fam, you guys are going to answer too.
Everybody can answer. I'll give my answers last. How about that? So.
All answers are most welcome.
Hey, good call by you. Question number 1. Agree or disagree? Tom. Odubel Herrera will bat .330 or better for the season. Agree or disagree?
Okay. .330 for the year, which to me wins him the batting title, right?
And he's currently sitting at .360 at the quarter pole.
Is it still .360? It was .360. That post that we put out, that was before they decided to jump their game today.
Well, he did. He had.
I know he had a hit today.
I think he was 1 for 3 today, so it probably didn't drop.
Not that today's he's 357.
Okay.
As of right this second. I agree.
Rob, .330 or better. Agree or disagree?
That's tough. It's tough to hold that up or whatnot. I'm going to look up what his BAP is in a second to see where if he's above or below that mean, if there's going to be positive or negative regression.
Turn your damn mic off. You're not allowed to go analytics.
All right.
It's your gut.
Gut says I agree as well. Because, as flamboyant and as wild of a player as he can be, his bat discipline's actually pretty keen. And he has a good eye at the plate. He has a good idea of what he's doing there or whatnot. He doesn't swing at bad pitches, but can also still hit that bad breaking ball out of the ballpark or into the gap. So 330 is doable. I'll agree. No analytics involved.
I'm also going to agree, and I may even up the ante a little bit. Not only do I think he hits 330 or better, I think he hits 340 or better.
Wow. That certainly gets the batting title.
Yeah, I think he's going to get it either way. But there's some guys, his hand-eye coordination is just something special. When he's hot, there's not many guys in the NL that get rolling like he does. Now, last year I believe he started a little slower.
He did.
And then he turned it on. So I'm interested to see in this lineup with these guys all around them and him batting more in the 3-hole. How his second half is, too, because last year he had a really great second half. So
he finished 290 last year, and if you remember, he was at 220 until mid-June and raised his batting average 70 points from mid-June to the end of the season.
Which is crazy.
It's very crazy.
Which is nuts. So, he's got to maintain now. For him to maintain isn't as crazy as I think people think. He's up at 357. I know Wilson was talking about, I'll end up at 290. Well, that's really tough. He's going to have to go through some rough patches.
For your average to drop 67 points this late or this far into the season, you'd really, really have to struggle from here on out.
And to me, he's not a guy who gets in huge funks, at this point now in his career. I think he's getting away from that. I think he's getting more, I look at a guy who never gives a goddamn at-bat away. Every at-bat's a battle. I talk to kids about this all the time, and some don't get it. They don't understand that it is a mental makeup getting in a batter's box.
Well, and
there's got to be some toughness. There's got to be some not scaredness.
But
there's a lot of
let
things.
me stop you there for a second, though, because that, to me, is the biggest difference in him between last year and this year. Is last year he would give at-bats away. He would come up to the plate thinking that he was either going to hit the ball out of the ballpark or he was going to work a walk or he was going to show up the pitcher, or whatever the case was, and he did give at-bats away. And to me, the biggest things with him this year are he's toned down the antics a little bit at the plate, and he does, and spot on, he doesn't give at-bats away.
No, he's tough. He's tough. He's a guy not scared to hit with 2 strikes that we always talk about. A guy, when he's got counts in his favor, he's looking to do goddamn damage. He's just a really special hitter. I think he's very underrated defensively. People don't give him enough credit for because of some lapses in years past. But, I'm looking at a guy who's putting it all together right now. I'm looking at a guy who's a potential Gold Glove center fielder. There's a lot. And I know, a lot of people don't like it, but real is real. This is a guy who is working his way into one of the better players in the National League. Okay? I'm not going to go over to the American. I'll let them do what they can fight amongst each other because there's a bunch of fucking animals over there. We'll just stay in the National League.
Yeah.
Keep it in the senior circuit.
He's becoming one of the better overall hitters in the NL. And
I'm seeing it right in front of me. I know you didn't want to hear the stat, but I got to hear the stat now that I see it.
Well, you answered before you went to the analytics, so that's acceptable.
All right, cool. His total career BAP is 363. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's right about where his batting average is right now.
Right.
So you could see him hovering around that. For example, last season.
Well, should we explain to the people what BAP is?
Batting average of balls in
in
play?
play.
Yeah, certainly. And it's a good indicator of where batting average is going to go to when you stretch that size from a small sample size to a much larger size. And you look at last year is 345. So that's right where he could settle down now that he got off to a good start, and he can slip right into that 330, 340 range.
Well, he's a guy who hits balls hard.
Right.
You know what I mean? He really hits balls hard. He has a
Good
really
contact rate.
Yeah, his hand-eye coordination is filthy. You listened to shows, Robbie, when he first came up, and I took a lot of grief over when I said that this guy's going to win a batting title one day. I watched his first couple of bats, and I'm like, Jesus. He fights off pitches. I think one of his first at bats was like a 14-pitch or 12-pitch at bat. It was a deep run, and you're watching a guy battle, and I'm like, finally. Finally. This is a guy who gets what an at-bat is. Now
He did that on Sunday against DeGrom. He had an at-bat that was 5 minutes and 27 seconds.
Yep, against one of the best pitchers in baseball.
A lot of foul balls.
Yeah.
But that's going in that at-bat looking to do damage and looking to work. Work. He picked up on the selectively aggressive more than any person in this lineup. Okay? Whoever translator told him selectively aggressive from Gabe and the hitting coach, that's their mentality. This guy took it and ran with it. He really freaking did.
Well, here's the thing.
And he wasn't a leadoff guy.
No,
I think we
you're
learned
right,
that too,
No,
which could affect.
Absolutely.
Because Caesar was out, and that could have, affected some things too.
Yeah.
Last year's lineup was atrocious. A bad team doesn't help it. Now you play for a good team. You got some vets in here, and you see some growth.
At running the risk of dropping the movie quote out there, in Major League, we learned that the difference between a 260 hitter and a 300 hitter is one extra base hit a week. Well, by the same logic, the difference between a 260 hitter and a 340 hitter is 2 extra base hits a week. And if there's anybody in the Phillies lineup right now that's capable of taking that and upping their game that extra level to where they're getting 2 extra knocks a week, it's him.
Well, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Who's the best player in the out of the starters? The best player?
All around.
All around.
It's him.
It's him.
It's him.
It's not even a debate.
And it's crazy. We have a lot of talent now. And to say that is really.
You could say Carlos Santana with his track record.
You very well could.
Yeah.
But a guy who isn't going to bet you 330.
Right.
He isn't going to bet you over 300. Now, does he do a lot of things really well?
His on base, maybe.
His on base is special.
Yeah.
But Odubel can be right there with him. Mm-hmm. Now, the track record isn't there, so you're right there. But overall, is he a Gold Glove first baseman caliber?
He might be. He's getting there.
He's getting better. He's definitely getting better at first. You can see him starting to get more and more comfortable there. But Odubel, to me, is going to be a candidate for a Gold Glove in center field. Yeah. So to me, that's who it is.
All right, quit jumping ahead.
Ayo.
Oh yeah, shit.
We have anything from the family on Odubel?
Mike Parker, our 1-2-3 right now, can rival any 1-2-3 in the NL. Jake will be Jake. His fastball movement is awesome. Noel has established himself as our ace. Mavette is surprised. Getting a hell of a lot of Ks.
Okay.
Ryan's talking about LeBron is coming. Noel is great. Fly Eagles fly. Oh, yep, that about wraps it up.
All right.
That about wraps it up.
Question number 2. Rob, agree or disagree? Aaron Nola will win 20 games this season.
I'm going to disagree, and for one reason, it's not a knock on him. I mean, his last 6 starts have been something special. I mean, putting up some phenomenal numbers up there. It's the bullpen, I think, is going to cost him some wins in the end. I think he tops off above what I initially expected beginning of the season. I was thinking 13, 14 going in. Now I think he can get like 16, 17, but I don't think quite 20. He'll lose some games to that bullpen.
What is it about the bullpen other than Neris that has you concerned right now? Because when I look at that bullpen top to bottom, I actually think other than Neris, they have a chance to be something pretty special.
You do. I mean, I don't know. Just arms I haven't seen get it done yet. But, I mean, then again, I'm not as familiar with each arm within your guys' squad.
Fair.
But
that's fair.
I mean, I like that kid Ramos. He's definitely your future closer. Yeah. I've already picked him up in Fantasy Dynasty League. Yeah. I need help there, too. I'm doing poorly. But anyway, that's a different subject for a different day. But, no, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've seen them give up a handful. I mean, how many blown holds and blown slaves have you seen so far this season? That would be just my small sample size recognizing that. But overall, there could be some growth and progress that needs to be made from there, and they can be what you're saying, something special.
Okay. Tom, Aaron Nola, 20 wins. Agree or disagree?
What's he got now?
He is 6-1, and it's not even Memorial Day.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's top 10 pitcher in baseball, so I'm going to buy.
As do I. And I'm not saying he's going to win 24, 25, 26, but can he win 20 or 21? Absolutely. And the reason that I think that is with him, and Robbie, to your point, even if the bullpen was a major concern, I think what we're seeing with him now is he's going 7 or 8 every time out.
Right.
He's gotten a lot more economical with his pitch count to where – he's through 7 at 103.
And that's how he could.
He's through 8 at 112.
Right.
And
that's certainly how he could get there, Mike. I mean, you're not saying far over. You're saying maybe he tops off at 2021.
Right.
If he could pitch deep in the games throughout the season and stay healthy, yeah, that's how he could get there. But what I'm saying is that a younger, less proven bullpen, despite the talent, may cost you 2 or 3 games, and that's the difference I'm saying between 17 and 20.
And that's fair. I don't have an issue with that. The other counterpunch that I would offer, and it's big picture, with the performance that you're getting out of Arrieta, Pivetta, even to a certain extent Velasquez, you don't have a bullpen that's nearly as tired or overused.
Thanks, Holly.
That's a great point.
Yeah, as we've had in the past with this team. And a tired bullpen and an overused bullpen gives up a lot of runs. A fresh bullpen.
Oh, I know that full out right.
There you go.
They're dangerous, actually. I mean, to me, the bullpen's one of their strengths.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they got a lot of different guys who throw a lot of different type of pitches, a ton of movement in the back end. And to me,
Neris is the issue. Everyone else in that pen is fine.
And Neris isn't even an issue outside of being a closer. I mean, outside of being a closer, to us,
he's just not a closer.
He can throw. To me, Ramos has looked good in his opportunities here, but to me, it's being primed for Sir Anthony Dominguez. I mean, that's going to be the guy who's going to get the shot. They're building it up slowly. You bring him in, you put him in some easy spots, up big, whatever, blah blah blah, down big. And then you move him a little bit more and more. How does he handle situations? They put him in the 8th inning the other night. At time, I think early on it might have been a little big for him. Yeah, but he settled.
Yeah,
I thought he was a little wild early on. He settled into it. He got out. He's got tons of movement. that's probably going to be a guy that we're looking at closing.
I'm looking more at the numbers. I less watch the games than you
Right.
fellas obviously do or whatnot, and I see 9 saves versus 5 blown saves. So I'm seeing like stuff like that, but that could be some growing pains because I see in terms of the stats. I mean, a kid like Luis Garcia, he's been pitching balls out, and how do you pronounce Ramos's first name? Odubel. Yeah, I'm really impressed with his stuff and the kid you're talking about.
See,
Mike.
I think this stat of blown save is a bit deceptive because I would say how many of those blown saves were blown in the 9th by your closer,
right?
As opposed to the guy who comes in the 7th with a lead, and if he gets through his inning, he's only getting a hold.
Right.
But if he gives up the lead, it's blowing a save.
4 out of 5 have been within the 9th or whatnot. Luis Garcia's might have been earlier than that, but I saw Ramos's one in the 9th, and then I'm assuming Neris's 3 had to have been in the 9th.
All 3 of Neris's were in the 9th, yeah.
But here's a big bucks. I don't want to be a hater or whatnot. I'm also looking at 12, 16, 20, 25 holds as a unit. That's a good indicator, too, that there is some promise in your bullpen.
There we go. So, well, going back to the original question, again, I don't think he's going 24-25, but I could easily see him doing 20-21, especially if he's at 12 by the All-Star break. If he goes into the All-Star break at 12-3,
yeah, he's got a good shot.
Then he's got a real good shot.
Yeah, now the bullpen closing has been an issue, but outside of closing, getting there isn't an issue to me.
Right. Yes, I see that.
So that's where I'm like trying to hang the hat on that will get figured out, and it has so far with Ramos. And then you bring Neris in a situation where he can get it out. Hopefully that brings some confidence. And, I think Gabe's going to go by committee right now and just matchups.
Well,
so we'll see.
And if we look,
it's harder to do what they're doing well.
Yeah.
So
And
if you think about it.
Well, let's look at what Gabe did today, though. Gabe had a save situation today, and he had Ramos start the 9th inning. Ramos got 2 outs, and he brought Neris in to get the last out just to start to rebuild his confidence. Let him get the final out of a game and get a save and start rebuilding his confidence. And everybody on social media is screaming, the guy just mowed down the first 2 batters. Why the hell are you taking him out in the 9th inning? When Gabe started walking out to the mound, Ramos was smiling. He knew exactly what was going on, and I would be willing to bet.
Oh, they love Hector, too.
Yeah, but I'd be willing to bet that Gabe told them what was going on.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get the first out, maybe the first 2 outs, but I'm going to go to Hector to close this out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what they did today. I thought that was a really smart move just to get his confidence up. And, if you go by committee or you use them too in spots, and so be it. Whatever's getting you fucking outs. Howie Way says Aaron Nola is better than Noah Syndergaard, in my opinion. And I'm starting to agree there.
Right now? Yeah.
Right now,
Yeah.
100% right now. I'll be the first one to admit it. Something's a little off. Like, Syndergaard's trying to be too cute up there.
I just think he's not recovered all the way.
No. Now, people want to say it's the health, and it's not. It really
You
isn't.
don't think?
No, because, I saw him come out against the Cardinals and just be outright dominant. And, you got to go by the letter of what you're hearing from the training staff, but we've talked in the past of how that could be a little bit misleading, maybe even a little deceitful. But, no, I don't see any struggle, any, going through those, pitches under duress. I don't see much duress in him on the mound or whatnot. I think he's just trying to be cute and not attacking the strike zone, looking very narrowly at that bottom L, trying to get people to swing at the slider instead of going up the ladder more or whatnot. So
I have a question for you. Given that it's pretty much well known that Mickey Callaway was a pitching coach, but he's also real highly analytical. Do you think Syndergaard is trying to be almost too fine because he's afraid that if he starts getting hit around or he starts running up a pitch count, that he's going to get hooked as opposed to being allowed to run to 110, 115, 120 to go 7, 8 innings? Because, what I've seen of Syndergaard this year is they're either letting him go deep or he's out after 5.
Mm-hmm. No, 1,000%. You couldn't have been more in tune on the analytics. It's too much. It's getting some of the players' heads or whatnot, and it's indicative on the field. And you even have our pitching coach, Dave Island, coming out and saying that, with Syndergaard's talk about a potential Cy Young candidacy, he's like, oh, what has he done in the league, right? That's great and all.
Hello.
Yeah. I mean,
He's freaking Thor. He throws 100 miles an hour. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
He's trying to challenge him. I get it, and in a certain way, I respect it. But do that, in the locker room. Don't do that in front of the media. I don't like that. I don't care for that too much. But my point is that as the honeymoon is now over with our coaching staff, and that's something we can relate with now. About quarter of the way into the season, you're seeing the chinks in the armor of managers that come in and have no managerial experience.
Yeah, and I'm actually seeing the other side over here. Yeah. And real quick, I want to say one thing.
Sure.
Howie Way said this show is really interesting, and I'm definitely subscribing. Love it, Howie.
Thanks, Howie.
Love
Appreciate
having you. Welcome to the family. There's tons of family in here already, and we'll continue to chat. She said, Mike Ward says, Thor has a better track record, and this is Noah's breakout year. Yes, absolutely. In the end of his last 12 starts last year, or 10, or whatever it was, there was only one guy who had a better stat line over 10, and that was Kershaw. We talked about that a million times. Mm-hmm. He picked up right where he left off last year. Right where he left off. You can make a case. I mean, you can start talking to him as a top 5 guy. If this continues, he becomes a top 5 guy.
Well,
if this continues.
So, totally.
With Kershaw on the DL now, with Bumgarner on the DL, I mean, can you name 3 in the National League that are better than him?
I mean, Scherzer,
I could go Scherzer
and Strauss
and Strasburg, maybe.
Carlos Martinez.
No.
I mean, he's had a couple rough starts, but he's had some couple gems too. Arrieta, yeah.
A guy on his own staff, but not right now. I mean, Arrieta's been great, but Noel's been better.
But here's the thing.
I'm looking at 2 right now. We don't have to look at anywhere else.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's that young guy right here.
Martinez, it's not a bad name, but you could debate it. Jake is a great name, but on their own staff, you can debate.
But who's been better?
So the only 2, Noah.
Can we? Is that even debatable? Right? So, it's not.
Patrick Corbin, he's having a pretty breakout year.
Yeah,
comeback year
until he gets hurt.
Until he gets hurt. Yeah,
I know Patrick.
Yeah.
But so there you go.
Truth.
I mean, there's 3 pitchers in the National League that you could say, without a doubt, are better than Nola right now, today. So he's top 4 in the National League. I'll take it. If he's top 4 and Jake is top 8, I'm good.
It could be.
And Pavetta's probably top 12.
Right. And this is a total dark horse, something you never see or whatnot, unless maybe it's Mariano Rivera. But Josh Hader in a relief role, I think I read he had 22 of his last 29 outs were strikeouts. That's crazy. Crazy talk.
Okay. Fair enough.
Howie Way, right?
It says Holly Way.
Yeah, it's a dude. Howie's a dude. What up, man?
How you doing?
Did we say welcome? Welcome. I guess. How'd that come
I think we assumed Holly was a female name.
We just assume things.
My bad.
It's short for Hollywood. I get it.
Whoops. Mike Parker says, whoops. I laughed at it. I'm a dude.
Okay.
I'm a dude.
Question number 3. Mr. Arnone. Michael Franco will lead the team in home runs. Agree or disagree?
What's he got now?
I believe it's 8. Might be 7, but I believe it's 8.
Who's the next closest?
Robbie?
Yeah, I got this. Actually, Santana and Franco are tied with 7.
Okay.
Odubel with 6. Reese at 5.
Okay, what I saw today, I told it to my dad. There's 4 points of your body that need to stay on the baseball, and if you really think about it, it's a different part of your body.
And he's got 2.
So my foot, okay, my hip, my shoulder, and my head. So if you take all 4 of them pieces, they need to stay through the baseball, right? Common fucking sense. What I'm seeing today on the one swing, not the one he got the little dribbler through, the one before that where he fouled it off away, is the hip. The head was okay because I paused it. I stopped it because I had to see. And the hip, the head was fine for where contact was, okay? But the problem is this was gone. The foot was down and the foot was in a good spot, but this was gone. The hip was here. So you're gone, and now you're trying to hit a pitch away. Only one thing you're going to do on that. So if he continues to get better at this, I think he can for this baseball team. I think he can lead this team in homers. But he has to continue to buy in, staying middle away at times. He cannot continue to think he can pull every home run. That's the only issue with him. Besides that, if he can stay through some baseballs better, I think he could. I'll agree on it.
Rob.
I mean, Hoskins is struggling, so
Okay.
and he's still got 5. But he's a guy who's shown when he gets hot, he gets hot.
That's a perfect segue.
Franco, agree or disagree?
I'm gonna disagree because I'm gonna go with Reese, and the reason why is that, man, I watch this kid. He just has unbelievable power, and he has unbelievable power when the weather's warm, and that's when he came up last year and went on that incredible homer run. You see that again this year, and I think that's what separates him from the pack as the season moves on.
And I'm
I see a
with
struggle.
you on that. I'm
Yeah,
going.
It could be a second-year struggle.
I
I can see that too.
I'm going disagree on Franco, specifically for the reasons that you said, because if it's not Hoskins, I do think it could be Santana that overtakes him for the team lead in homers.
Yeah, it could be any of the 3
But,
or 4.
I still feel like Hoskins has one of those streaks coming up where he goes, 7 homers in 10 games, 8 homers in 20, something like that.
I hope you're right.
And this is Hoskins. It's start the season relatively hot, cool off a little bit. The numbers don't get ridiculously bad, but you start to get concerned, and then it starts to come back around. I mean, this was him at Reading 2 years ago. This was him at Lehigh Valley last year. Notorious for getting off to a good start, a little bit of a dip, and then it just kind of rides up for the rest of the season.
Can I be honest?
Yeah, good. No, I want you to fucking lie to me. Of course you can be honest.
You've been honest all show. Why stop now?
All show, that's it. Fuck. But I've done it all wrong.
You're such a jabron.
Yes. I don't. Something's concerning me. I don't know what it is. I haven't been able to point to it. I'm watching his at bats and I'm not liking it. And Schmitty talked about it the other day.
Is the pressure on this level? Because what Mike was saying kind of is in tune to what I was saying and what I've seen, but he's never been on this level before.
He turned me off with a comment when he did the 30 teams in 30 days about how he never uses a T. And I know this sounds so minuscule to people, but he said a ball always moves. So, I always want a ball moving.
He doesn't do T work. He does soft toss.
Hey, Daddy, let me tell you something. I understand that, but you don't stare at a T when you hit it.
Right.
Make sense?
Right.
My whole process is getting things right, viewing in a certain spot, and picking up the pitcher, and then boom, finding the baseball. He knows that, obviously. But a guy like Mike Trout, who takes 2,000 high T swings pregame. Now you're going to tell me one of the best hitters in baseball thrives off a tee, but you're too good for it? What have you done? What have you done? I understand your philosophy, but to me this is overthinking again, something that's worked forever, dude. I'm not saying you don't do front toss. I'm not saying you don't do a side toss. I'm not saying you don't hit live. Absolutely. But to start my day off, I better be taking 100 T swings, especially right now, what you're going through. Because this is the big league level, and you got to make it. You got to make adjustments. To me, he's not making adjustments. He's guessing right now. To me, it's ahead. He's guessing a lot. He's not zoning up on what's his. He's letting the pitcher dictate the at bats to him. Now, kind of think he gets out of it, sure, but I almost am concerned that stretch blew it all too much. Like that he's not that guy. Like he's really good. He's got power. He's got pop. You know this, but he's not a guy. He's not fucking Ryan Howard.
No, he's not.
So
he's a different type of player.
Yeah, so you got to I think as a fan base, we have to realize that this dude isn't going to hit 45. I don't see it. Now,
No,
can he?
He's stuck in his
He's a
head.
30 to 35 guy.
He's stuck in his head right now. And that's what hitting off a tee did well for me. It got me out of my head, thinking about all the little things and just getting everything right, like you said, getting the technique. Because it's all about technique and repeatability of swing. You could lower it, raise that tee, son. You could change the location, but it's not about where the ball is. It's about getting out of your head and into your body and just, roping.
Well, where I'll go with this is he might be one of the guys that the analytics has hurt. Because you guys had talked about it a couple minutes ago when you were talking about, aggressively selective or selectively aggressive.
Yeah.
And actually, you can use the terms either way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But with him being a guy who was already a notoriously patient hitter and worked deep counts, and now it's in his head that he has to do even more. And he's basically going up to the plate, and he's looking for a ball in a spot every time. And if the ball isn't in that spot, he's not productive.
Yeah,
he's got to open up his strike zone a little bit.
He gets beat up inside a lot.
He does.
A lot.
He
right
does.
under here, he gets beat up. Something he's got to get better at. I mean, but, I did think Franco, as much as he's criticized, I think he's a little more advanced. He's been through some more big league pitching than Hoskins has. He's been up a little longer. If there's going to be a year where, hey, Mikel, you're going to lead the team in homers or you're not,
right?
It would be this year, right?
Right?
When a guy's up for a contract, there's a lot more riding for Mikel to have a better home run production year, and it could be by one. You know what I mean? Than the other guys.
Right.
Question 4, Rob. Hector Neris will lead the team in saves.
Nah, I disagree.
Right.
I mean, and I'm a Neris guy. Like I got onto him last year, and I was saying like that's who should be closing for. I really liked his stuff, but now you've seen him in the role for a while, and he buckles under the pressure. He doesn't have the cojones. You can recognize that.
He's a great setup guy.
And I love that kid Ramos. I mean, Odubel, as Mike Parker pointed out.
He gets outs, man.
Yeah.
He gets outs right now. I mean, that's what you need in the ninth. The guy's going to get outs.
Yeah.
Agree or disagree?
Disagree. Yeah, completely disagree. It's going to be a collective effort to me. It's going to be Ramos until he doesn't get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And if Ramos continues to get it done, or it's by committee in some way, it's set up for Dominguez, or it's set up for a deadline move.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay, so that's even open.
Yeah, you're in the competition there. All of a sudden, you're getting into Mark Melanson.
Yeah, I mean, or Zach Britton if he's healthy.
Or Zach Britton, yeah.
I'm going to agree, actually, for a couple of reasons.
Holy fuck.
Wow.
I like it.
Number 1 is he's already got a 9-save head start.
True.
Number 2 is I think Gabe is just a little stubborn at this point and will keep trotting him out there in as many save situations as he can.
Oh, like what he did with that one
like
one
he
out
did today.
save. Right, yeah.
I think he's going to keep trotting him out there until Neris just implodes to the point where he can't keep running him out there.
I have to be honest. Again,
I would expect nothing else at this point.
Gabe Kapler has. We talked about it when he said that he likes the criticism, right? And because it helps him develop and he it helps him become a better manager, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, what I've seen is a guy who listens, has gotten better.
Agreed.
Now, has he done everything perfect?
No.
Who does, though, really? You know what I mean? At baseball, Monday morning quarterback, everything.
But he's stubborn as hell about that bullpen.
He's stubborn about it, but what I've seen, what he did with Ramos, shows me that his flexibility, his understanding of his players, his understanding of this part of the game, which is so important, and I think Gabe really gets this part of the game of baseball. That's why Gabe Kapler will be successful, because I think he gets guys. He understands people. And for him to do what he did today and to give him the other day off too and say, this is you, Ramos. You're not coming in this day. You're not coming in this one. But for what him to do today is that translates to players, man. And people can sit at home. We thought video games, they ain't a video game. These are human fucking beings. And if you don't think that Hector Neris isn't loved in that locker room because he's a really funny dude, guys love that guy. They do. For a coach to do that, everybody sees that. Everybody sees what he went and did. And this is at a big league level. That's the kind of thing I would do at 9U to build confidence. For this guy to do it at the big league level shows me tremendous growth. Shows me a guy who understands the game more than we believed over the first week. Know what he did the first week? Nothing's inexcusable. It doesn't go away. It was ridiculous. But has he grown? Yes. If that would have kept up, we would have been gone. Okay? But he's a guy who has grown. He's grown. And for him to do that today, that's a leader of men.
Last question.
Right.
The Phillies, Tom, will have at least one Gold Glove winner. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Who is it?
Odubel.
Rob.
Yeah.
Go with me, Daddy.
I wanted to not give the same perspective, like just saying ditto, but I'm going to sit here and say ditto.
Yeah, I don't know who else gets
it.
it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not affluent with a lot.
I'll tell you,
JP
nobody.
Crawford when he comes back, but he missed so much time.
Yeah, no. Franco, no. Caesar, maybe.
Caesar
Caesar picks fucking everything, but I don't.
I'm going to agree, but I got a dark horse
Who,
candidate.
Alfaro?
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say that, but
Those throws down to second base.
he's a fucking monster.
But here's the thing.
So good.
Is it one of the two biggest issues with him going into the season were inability to frame pitches and inability to block balls in the dirt.
Yeah, that ended.
Neither have been a problem this year. The pop times and the velocity on the throws are ridiculous. If he turns into a guy who never hits higher than 250, which I don't think is going to be the case, but if he turns into a guy who never hits higher than 250 and is a 250 with 15 home run kind of guy, but he's that damn good defensively behind the plate, I will take him every day.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it's Odubel and Alfaro.
I'm not surprised that you're getting that type of defensive production from him or whatnot. And I'll say it because I don't know what today's scouts are smoking out there. Because they say that Michael Conforto can't play the outfield and all that. And, he's got a good bat, but he's going to be a liability in the outfield. And the kid does nothing but catch balls. You know what I mean? Right. So it's like some guys just get better at this level, and I get that, and some fade away. But to an end, you got to get the eye test yourself. I don't trust these scouts.
Well, I think I want to go back to the previous point that you made about guys getting better at this level.
Right.
Because having seen Alfaro at Reading, at Lehigh Valley, and then when he first came up last year, he wasn't very mechanically sound. I mean, all the tools, but the mechanics were just not there. Mm. And I think the combination of having guys at the major league level coach on the coaching staff who are former catchers he's like night and day now compared to where he was last year. And Greg would sit here on the couch last year and literally cringe at the thought of Alfaro blocking balls in the dirt. And you just don't see it this year.
It shows the kid's coachable. That's what it does. He developed these skills, and maybe the initial report on him was he's blocking the balls and framing pitches, but he's developed those skills and now gets to show it.
How about I got a better one for you?
Go right ahead.
How about he got around major league coaches?
Yeah.
How about that? Somebody talked about that last year a ton. I don't know who the fuck that was. But it was somebody talked about all these kids playing and learning and developing around big league coaches. I mean, it's just simple. Your development should get better than it would be around minor league guys. There's a reason they're minor league coaches.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It would make more sense. But that's all I got for that.
All right, 2 minutes left. Carson Wentz.
Yeah. Do we feel he's being rushed back?
Or do we think he's being baby too much?
No, I don't think he's being baby too much. I mean, for Doug and the staff to want him to be completely healthy before getting rolling and knowing how much of a worker he is and how he could actually do too much work, I think they're handling it the right way. That, they have a Super Bowl MVP on the bench. So it's a good thing to have. I think we talked about it, that we wouldn't start him right away. Now, that can change. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That can easily change if he's healthy. But I don't think you need to rush him.
Well, I don't think you need to rush him. But I do think if he wants to work at his own pace, and that's what he's most comfortable with, I think what rubbed me the wrong way a little bit was last week, when Doug said, he'll be ready when we say he's ready.
Yeah.
To me, that rubbed me the wrong way a little bit because
is that a little Super Bowl bravado.
Yeah. Well, he'll be ready when we say he's ready. To me,
chest puffed.
To me, your franchise quarterback.
He'll be ready when we tell you he's ready, all right?
He'll be ready. Your franchise quarterback has to be ready when he says he's ready.
Well,
now you can have your medical people kibosh that.
Yeah.
But just in terms of wanting to work out and throw and get out on the field a little bit, if he wants to do that, I think you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
No, I think they are, though. I just think that when he's talking to the media, he's more saying, hey, calm down. All right? Oh, you guys, simmer the fuck down. We'll tell you when he's going to step on a fucking football field and with a helmet and pads. You know what I mean? I think that's what he's really saying. Because all he's getting asked all the time is he going to be ready by week one? Is he going to be ready by week one? What do you think about OTAs? What do you think about – you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's always getting asked. So he's like, hey, you see that fucking trophy? It was like 3 fucking months ago. Are you people okay in here? He'll be ready when he's ready. Or when we say he's ready. And listen to this. If you didn't know something else, his backup, pretty fucking good. So calm the fuck down in here.
That trophy. Hey, camera.
I love the
Zoom in
trophy.
on this.
Look at that. Hey, trophy.
Hey. We got a Lombardi over here.
You got a Lombardi. All right, we're out of here. Family, we fucking love you. Mike Parker, what do you say? But do you throw Alfaro? I was saying Caesar has a chance. Yeah, Caesar has a chance. Alfaro. All right, brother. Love yous. Love everybody out there. Another edition of Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
ATD Radio. Thank you, Gibson Mayer LLC, sponsoring every Wednesday night for us. Our certified public accountant.
Make 'em yours.
Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. For Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Rob Pove on the ones and twos, and all you. We're the best in the business. No notes. Thanks for listening. We out.
And we out.